Everyone, this is Dalton with Dalton Needs TFs, and I'm coming at you with another Titans Return review. This is Autobot Apex with Powermaster Optimus Prime, leader class. Pretty much know this packaging by now. I'm really late to the game on this. Anyways, here he is in all modes with Apex, you know, the cross-compatibility, we all know about that. Then it says Optimus Prime will stand against any threat. Autobot Apex helps him face enemies that even the Autobot Commander cannot face alone. The Titan Master carries the portion of his spark and power of Optimus Prime, increasing the legendary warrior's already immense strength and speed and intelligence. Bringing him in, here he is in truck mode. Obviously a heavy retool of Ultra Magnus from Combiner Wars, but very heavy retooled. We'll get more into that in the review. But yeah, you can see the same functionality, same hollowness. Although, as a truck, he is actually a bit longer from cab to end of the trailer, just due to how the truck is designed for Prime. And he does have these very iconic guns that the original Powermaster Prime had. A lot of these little Titan Master spots all over the place. We'll go ahead and take Apex right here, aka Haikyuu or Ginrai if you go by the Japanese. We got two of them here on the cab. Got a couple up here and a bunch all along the back of the trailer here on the sides. That's more for base mode. And so yeah, rolls just fine, turns. It's a little tight, but not bad. I don't care much for the guns sitting up here on the top. What I usually do is I take them, plug them together, and put them back here inside of the trailer. They're out of the way, and they're not really going anywhere. Yeah, there's this opening, but the arms block them from coming out. So go ahead and open that up. Get these out of here. And we can fit a deluxe class in here, sort of. So, there is that. Now, moving on to Apex himself, which, you know, in his name is a reference to the Apex armor. See, he is very much homaging Haikyuu from the original Hasbro Powermaster Prime. No paint really, basic articulation, ball joint, head, arms, legs on a pivot. And here, looks like they are just clipped onto the body. Yeah, those are just friction clipped on. So just fold that in half, and there we've got Powermaster Prime's head, which is very much a cup looking head. Or, you know, I've heard a lot of people say Orion packs, and yeah, that kind of looks like it. Bringing in Prime, go ahead, and you can put Apex or Haikyuu right inside, and he can drive the truck. Or if you want to completely ignore the Titan Master gimmick, turn him into head mode. Go ahead and plug him in and fold the helmet around him. And there we go. Now Powermaster Prime is just one entity. And he does still have all the little buttons and levers and switches here and screens on the inside of the cab. See right there. The only ones it doesn't have are the ones that are in here. This is all just hollow. And the cab looks very nice. I do love this huge grille that he's got. The small windows, and still has that weird proportion thing. You know, Ginrai looks a little bit better in the fact that it's more realistic looking. And I don't get it. I don't get what's with Hasbro and using these brownish, kind of olive charcoal colors for black plastic. I mean, you can probably see the difference in the two. These have more of a green-brown tinge to them than the black on Ultra Magnus. So I don't know what's going on with that. As far as his card goes, it's your typical card art. Very nice looking. I do love all these little details added here. And for the for the stats, you get 10, 8, 10, and 8. So, and then it alters accordingly, you know. So there is that. Little focus. But yeah. So transformation on this guy. We'll go ahead and go to the base mode first. Now that I found another way of doing the base mode, so we will take a look at that. What we'll need to do is open up the panels here, fold these up, and you want to unclip these sections here. And then separate them from the rest of the body and rotate them as if you're turning them into legs. And you just want to keep them out like that. Take it here, bring it down, clip into place just like with Ultra Magnus. Splay it out. You kind of want to have them at an angle here. As far as these go, split them apart, bring them up. They will cooperate. You want to slide the cab back, bring out these little stabilizers, and just orient the ramps. So they come down like that. I can keep him from coming apart. And there we've pretty much got Powermaster Optimus Prime in his base mode. Just plug the guns onto here. Put these apart and they will go here on what will be the shoulders. This thing just loves to come apart. Yeah, this version of the base mode just doesn't hold together well. If I bring down the ratchets there a little. There we go, that's a little bit better. There we go. So there is the base mode. He will connect to Fort Max from back here or Blaster. Go ahead and bring Apex out. I should have done that beforehand. Oh well. Already this far. And you can have Apex either standing here on one of the little platforms. Have some other Titan Masters just strewn out throughout the base. Have one walking up the ramp. Oh, never mind, it'll be right there. And we can have the vehicles going up like that. Or in my version of the base mode. Okay, so here is the alternate base mode that I kind of came up with. Basically, you rotate the legs back, have these in their truck form, have one bent at the second panel here, and then one here bent, you know, as it would be both panels. You want to rotate the shoulders to where they're flat. And now with mine, the elbow joint is loose, so it's going to droop down here. But I guess that could work as a second ramp. So there you've got that. Or the way I've kind of had it planned, have that up here. And have it either like that for a cannon, or as a runway for Titan Masters, or a helipad, whichever you prefer. You can have Nightbeat's vehicle up there, and of course that falls off. So it's, you know, there's plenty of joints. Kind of come up with your own. You could also do what the Takara does and have the tower clear up here, which is a little excessive, but it works. So to get this guy into robot mode, let's go ahead and get these all off. And basically do what we did for the base mode, bring the legs down, clip them into there, bring out the feet, rotate this whole panel around, and there's a slot here and a tab there. Plug that in after you bring up the shin, and there we got one leg all straightened out and very clicky and flimsy. Same on this side. Bring up the foot, rotate this whole section down. Straighten that out. And bring this whole section down. And then from here we want to bring the truck around and fold it down right here just like we would on Ultra Magnus. Clip the cab into there and fold it up. Now click the shoulders into place. Get this oriented right. Then from here, it's pretty much bring that down, open up the chest. If you took apex off, bring up the helmet, close up the chest. You want to fold this little section in all the way. Just close that up and that. Bring up the helmet, and he is a little bit troublesome to get in there, but once you do, he does plug in fairly secure. The little heel spur there on apex plugs into this little slot here on the back of the head, and that just wraps around, forming his head. So there we've got Powermaster Optimus Prime. Now let's go ahead and add his shoulder cannons. And give him his weapons, which, unlike Ultra Magnus, there are little slots right here that these plug into. And his hands just wrap around the gun. I guess that's as far as it goes. And do the same on this side. And there we go. So there we've got Powermaster Prime with all of his weapons. Now one thing that you can do, and much like Ultra Magnus, how you can turn his weapon into a big hammer. Now Prime won't be able to use it just because of all the, you know, that's here and all that's not there. You can combine these into like that. A giant rifle with 4 extra barrels on the side. So I mean, I was going for the whole like staff look. I guess the giant rifle works too. So he drops it very easily. His hands aren't really much more secure than Ultra Magnus's, so it still just falls out without even trying. Now, as far as articulation goes, before we do the comparison with Ultra Magnus, head is on a 360-degree swivel. Shoulders rotate 360 on a detented ratchet. Move up the cannons like that, they get full 90 degrees, bicep swivel, and it's a soft detent on the elbow on this side. On mine, on the right, it's just kind of a loose and it gets a little bit tighter here, so I don't know what's going on there. Nothing at the waist, of course, due to the transformation. Ratcheted hips, very heavy ratchets. Getting him back to about that far, and all the way forward, all the way out, and it's a little bit softer on this side. Thigh swivel, a little less than 90 degrees at the knee, and not much at the foot besides this weird double jointed thing. So let's go ahead and get Ultra Magnus into robot mode and we'll do our comparison. So here we have Prime and, you know, Ultra Magnus in robot mode. Now, as far as shared parts, the only ones that I could see are the hips and thighs, the feet, and just mostly transformation joints, like these here. Everything's falling off. So these are the same. The innards of the leg, you know, just this whole section here. So you can see that. Mostly just the internal parts are the same. As far as Powermaster Optimus Prime goes, I mean, he's certainly not a terrible figure, but he's not grand either. You know, it feels like he doesn't quite fit with the rest of the Titans Return figures, and that's mostly due to the fact that he's using a mold that was used prior in a different line. So it's understandable that he's going to have some weaknesses compared to the other leaders. Blaster, I still think, is the better of the two, mostly due to the fact that, again, it's a completely new mold. Really looking forward to getting 6-Shot. I cannot wait to get that. That being said, you know, I do like Powermaster Prime. I think I'm going to like Ginrai even more due to all the new mold changes and the fact that we're going to get God Bomber with it. I really do hope for a 2-pack of Fire Guts or Nucleon Quest. Now, not to say that this is bad, like I said before, but I'm going to stop rambling. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. I hope you like the new camera and hopefully better quality. That's pretty much it. This has been Dalton at Dalton CFs. Hope you guys enjoyed. I'll see y'all next time. Be sure to check out the links in the description. Check out my review of Ultra Magnus, as well as any of the other Titans Return figures. I'll have a playlist for that. So, see you guys around.